Oh, you thought it was over, but here's the thing, when it comes to bugs, it's never over. Bugs were here before us, and they're going to be scouring the earth long after we're gone. Hello again, Most Amazing Top 10 family. I'm your host, Traderina, and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. For today's list, we're going to be counting down the top 10 largest insects ever found, part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, then what are you doing? Go check that out right now. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10, we're going to cover something that was kind of in our last video. We gave you two different beetles that were on our last list. We had the Titan beetle and the Achaean beetle. So we're going to kick off this list with another giant beetle, Ringo Starr. Just kidding. He was a beetle, but the kind that plays classic rock songs. You guys get the joke. But back to insects, the Goliath beetle. Based on weight and bulk, Goliath beetles are a strong contender for the title of Earth's largest insect. Native to Africa, they measure 60 to 110 millimeters for the males and 50 to 80 millimeters for the females. As adults, they can weigh up to 100 grams in the larval stage, although the adults only weigh about half that weight. They typically don't move much in the mornings when it's cool, and they stay in a lethargic state, but once they are warmed up by the sun, they become more active. They fly away when they are frightened. Though they are believed to be primarily vegetarians in the wild, they have shown a voracious appetite for protein in captivity, and captive beetles are often fed dog and cat food. Coming in at number 9, the giant burrowing cockroach, also called the rhinoceros cockroach and the little bug. This insect is the heaviest cockroach in the world, and sorry, any bug that is named after an extremely large animal is enough to make me cringe. But people say, oddly enough, this is one roach you may want to keep around. I don't know who on earth would want an XXL cockroach around, but supposedly, unlike other cockroaches, the rhinoceros cockroach doesn't have wings, isn't considered a pest, and plays an important role in the ecosystem by breaking down dead leaves. Some people have found that they make good pets. That is a hard no for me. A pet? You can't tell me that this creature snuggles or likes being pet. Anyways, they're found in Australia, and these bugs can live for as long as 10 years, and they can grow up to be 3 inches long. Luckily, I'm in Canada and not in Australia. Australia sounds like a different world with all the creatures they've got running around. Coming in number 8, Macrodonita cervicornis. Talk about a tongue twister. Let me break it down for you. Macrodonita means long tooth. Cervicornis means deer antler. It is also known as the saber-toothed longhorn beetle and is one of the largest beetles known, with specimens exceeding 17 centimeters in length. Part of this length is due to the enormous mandibles from which it derives both of the names in its biomen. Most of this species' life is spent in a larval stage, which can last up to 10 years, and the larva of the saber-toothed longhorn is extremely large, reaching up to 21 centimeters in length. Macrodonita cervicornis is from the rainforests of Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil. Additional described species of the genus extend over all range of the genus from Guatemala to Argentina. I'm gonna go ahead and mark those as no-go spots for my next holiday. Coming in hot at number 7 on this list, we have the white witch moth. I don't know who named it the white witch moth, but it's a lot cooler and creepier than its scientific name, so we will be calling it the white witch moth for the purpose of this video. It is much a competitor for the title of largest insect. This may be true by the measure of its wingspan. A Brazilian specimen with a wingspan of almost 30 centimeters appears to hold the record. Their coloration is beautiful, but also perfectly adapted to blend in with their favorite trees. But tree bark isn't the only thing these giant bugs are mistaken for. When flying, it's actually so big that it often gets mistaken for other flying creatures, such as bats. The white witch occurs from Uruguay to Mexico and appears to stray as far north as Texas. Tom Turpin, an entomologist from Purdue University, said that the reduced size of insects these days may have to do with high oxygen levels in the prehistoric atmosphere. All that oxygen would have supplied insect bodies well, but when oxygen levels decreased, it's possible that larger insects weren't able to survive. Thank God. For number 6, we're bringing you a more common insect that you've all probably heard about but have rarely seen. The world's largest praying mantis on record was about 18 centimeters long in southern China, and it was discovered in 1929. According to Wikipedia, they can reach lengths of 20 centimeters. As an apex carnivorous insect, the praying mantis feeds mainly on other insects. It is, however, documented that larger praying mantises are able to consume small reptiles and even small mammals or birds, not to mention the whole female decapitating its mate thing. The only thing scarier than a large insect is a large psychopathic insect that murders its lovers. We are halfway through this list, and for the number 5 spot we have an otherwise common household insect, but in this case it has a giant cousin that you don't want to mess with. Houseflies are gross. Beyond being annoying, they live in poop and spread it all over your food, and when they land on your food they barf digestive fluids onto it. But at least they aren't big. Well, most of them aren't. Some are positively enormous. Immitis Heroes is a species of giant flies that belongs to the family of Mitidae. Immitis Heroes can reach lengths of 32 to 70 millimeters and has a wingspan of around 10 centimeters. It is the largest fly known to man and has been reported to grow 7 centimeters long. However, when Erica McAllister of the Natural History Museum in London, UK measured her specimens, she found that they were only about 6 centimeters. This may be close to the upper size limit for these flies, at least with Earth's climate and atmosphere makeup the way that it is. According to a 2005 study, ambient temperatures set a limit on the metabolic rate a fly can achieve, and thus on how big it can afford to grow. So thankfully it seems that these guys aren't super common anymore. The wing membrane is a whitish brown or orange with a hyaline apex and posterior margin. Adult males are flower visitors while females do not feed at all. Larvae live in the nests of ants, feeding on immature insects. Mature larvae dig into the soil of a purpation chamber, then the imago emerge. I wonder what kind of fly swatter you would need to kill one of these suckers. I hope I never have to find out. Coming in number 4, red driver ants are big. The males are really big, but the queens, they're like scary big, like 2 inches big, and they have just the kind of attitude you want in a huge ant. They are really aggressive with a bite that burns like lava. You can find them in the lower parts of Africa, roaming around in nomadic colonies numbering in the thousands. They will march around going wherever food is, which is often where people are. Compost piles are known to be smorgasbords of treats for these red driver ant colonies, where they settle down and devour every last scrap of edible goodness within them. They are rarely disturbed while they feast. After all, are you going to be the one to tell a 2-inch ant with a sting that won't kill you but make you wish that you were dead that it's not allowed to eat your garbage? Alright, we are now on to number 3, and for the 3rd spot we have the St. Helena earwig, or the St. Helena giant earwig. This is a extinct species of large earwig endemic to the oceanic island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. Growing as large as 84 millimeters long, including its forceps, the St. Helena earwig was the world's largest earwig. Operative word was thankfully. It was shiny black with reddish legs, short elytria, and no hind wings. The earwig was endemic to St. Helena, being found on the Horse Point Plains, Prosperous Bay Plains, and the eastern arid area of the island. It was known to have lived in the plain areas, gumwood forests, and seabird colonies in rocky places. The earwig inhabited deep burrows, coming out only at night following rains. Dave Clark of the London Zoo said that the females make extremely good mothers. Anyone else a little weirded out at the thought of a giant disgusting insect being a good mom? Mothers do anything for their young, and I wouldn't want to cross a giant earwig with her babies. The earwig has not been seen alive since 1967, despite searches for it in 1988, 1993, 2003, and 2005. It is possibly extinct due to loss of habitat by the removal of nearly all surface stones for construction, as well as predation by introducing rodents, mantids, and centipedes. Coming in at number 2 on this list, we've met some big beetles so far, but this is the biggest of them all. We have the Hercules Beetle. These bad boys swag around the jungles of South America, showing off their huge horn-like pincers on the forehead of their impressive 7-inch long body. At least the males do. The females don't have this distinctive feature, although the girl bodies do grow a little bit bigger. The horns, which can grow longer than the male Hercules beetle's body, are mainly used to fight other Hercules beetles. Men are the same no matter what genus or species they are. Proportionately speaking, these are the strongest creatures on Earth for their size. They are able to carry 850 times their own body weight. And the moment you've all been waiting for, number 1 on this list, Neurosis. This is an extinct genus of griffinfly known from the early Permian era of North America and represents the biggest known insect of all time. The genus includes 2 described species, Neurosis permiana, described in 1937 from Elmo, Kansas. It was one of the largest known insects that ever lived, with a reconstructed wing length of 330 millimeters and an estimated wingspan of up to 710 10 millimeters and a body length from head to tail of almost 43 centimeters. Neurosis americana, discovered in Oklahoma in 1940, is most probably a junior synonym for Neurosis permiana. It is represented by a forewing fragment 28 centimeters long, which is conserved and displayed in the Harvard Museum of Natural History. The complete reconstructed wing had an estimated total length of 30.5 centimeters, making it the largest insect wing ever found. Okay, that is a lot of historical information, but the most important thing to take away from this is that these are all huge and ugly, disgusting bugs. I'm definitely getting the heebie-jeebies just from thinking about all of these gross creatures, so I think it's time to wrap this list up. I want to thank you guys all so much for tuning into this video. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I have been your host, Arena, and if you see some gigantic, gross, scary bug, keep it to yourself. I want nothing to do with it. Bye.